Think about lying down in your bed tonight, closing your eyes just like you have done 1,000 times before, and never opening them again. No struggle, no pain, just total silence. It happens much more often than most people realize. Every single year, hundreds of thousands of adults over the age of 50 suffer heart attacks and strokes while they are fast asleep. And here is the most chilling part. For the vast majority of them, the cause wasn't bad luck or genetics. It was actually something they were doing every single night, believing it was completely safe. Specifically, it has to do with exactly how and when they were drinking their water. My name is Dr. Daniel Harris, and I have spent my life studying the hearts and cardiovascular systems of people over 50. What I am about to share with you today is a conversation that does not fit inside a standard 10-minute doctor's appointment. But if you are over 60, learning the right way to hydrate before bed and the right way to hydrate when you wake up could literally save your life. Let's talk about the very first habit that creates a midnight panic in your cardiovascular system. It is a habit I hear from my patients every single day in the clinic. They tell me, "Dr. Harris, I stopped drinking all liquids after 6 p.m. because I don't want to get up 3 times in the middle of the night to use the bathroom." I understand that completely. Broken sleep is frustrating. It makes you feel tired the next day, and it increases the risk of falls in the dark. But I want you to listen very closely to what happens inside your veins and your arteries when you go to bed dehydrated. Your blood is mostly water. When you deliberately dehydrate yourself in the evening, your overall blood volume drops. But the solid parts of your blood, the cholesterol, the platelets, the calcium, and the waste products, stay exactly the same. This means your blood becomes thick, sticky, and slow. Imagine trying to pump thick, cold maple syrup through a tiny plastic straw. That is exactly what you are asking your aging heart to do at 4 a.m. When the blood is thick, the friction against the walls of your arteries increases. This friction causes inflammation, and inflammation leads to the buildup of plaque. Furthermore, as you sleep, you are constantly losing moisture. Every time you breathe out, you are losing water vapor, and every time you sweat even a little, you are losing water. If you start the night dry, by the time 3 a.m. rolls around, your blood is at its absolute thickest. In cardiology, we call this the golden hour for blood clots. Because the blood is moving so slowly, the platelets start to clump together like wet sand. If one of those tiny clumps gets stuck in a narrow, stiff vessel in your heart or your brain, the lights go out. This is why the highest number of strokes and heart attacks happen right before dawn. Your blood was just too thick to flow through the pipes. Now, the solution isn't to flood yourself with a gallon of water right at bedtime, because that will obviously keep you awake and cause other issues. If you are sipping water all through dinner and chugging a massive glass before bed, you are flooding your system at exactly the wrong time. This causes overnight ankle swelling and those dreaded bathroom trips, while leaving your blood thick during the daytime when you actually need circulation the most. The correct solution is a steady trickle. You need a small 4-ounce glass of room temperature water an hour before bed. A quick trip to the bathroom won't hurt your sleep nearly as much as thick, stagnant blood will hurt your heart. Think of it as greasing the pipes for the night ahead. You want your blood to be a flowing river, not a stagnant swamp. Before we move to the morning, I need to give you a massive warning about a symptom you might see in the bathroom during the night. If you wake up to use the bathroom and notice your urine is dark yellow, brown, or the color of strong tea or cola, pay close attention. Most seniors who notice dark urine do one thing: they drink more water. The urine lightens up for a day, they assume the problem is solved, and they move on. That assumption is exactly what costs people their lives. If your urine cycles between dark and normal for more than 2 weeks, regardless of how much water you drink, that is not a hydration problem. That is a mechanical signal from your body. A tumor in the head of your pancreas could be pressing against your bile duct, causing a substance called bilirubin to back up into your bloodstream and flush out through your kidneys. Water does not fix a tumor. If you see this cycling pattern, you need to have a conversation with your doctor this week, not next month. Now let's look at the other end of your night. You survive the sleeping hours and the sun comes up. What you do in the first 30 seconds of your morning is one of the most consistently overlooked cardiovascular risks in adults over 60. Let me tell you about a patient of mine named Frank. Frank was 73 years old, a retired electrician, and the kind of man who walked every morning without fail. He took his blood pressure medications exactly as prescribed. But Frank had a morning habit. His alarm would go off at 6:15. He would sit up fast, swing his legs over the side of the bed, and stand up to head to the bathroom. 10 seconds, start to finish. He had done it that way his entire adult life. One morning, his wife Sandra didn't hear him walking around. She found him on the tile floor, conscious but confused. Frank had not had a heart attack or a stroke. He had simply gotten out of bed the same way he had for 50 years, and his 73-year-old body could not handle it anymore. What Frank experienced was orthostatic hypotension. This is a significant drop in blood pressure within 3 minutes of standing, causing dizziness, lightheadedness, and falls. It affects approximately 1 in 5 adults over the age of 65. Here is what is actually happening inside your body in those crucial morning moments. You wake up mildly dehydrated. Your hypothalamus, the part of your brain that signals thirst, becomes measurably less sensitive with age, so you genuinely feel less thirsty than you actually are. After 8 hours of sleep, your blood volume is lower, and your blood is slightly thicker. Your cardiovascular system simply has less fluid to work with, precisely when it needs to maintain pressure during a position change. When you stand up fast, roughly 300 to 800 milliliters of blood, somewhere between 1 and 3 cups, shifts downward into your legs under gravity. In a younger body, your autonomic nervous system responds instantly to maintain pressure. But after 60, this response time slows down. The reflex is still there, but it lags for 2, 3, or 4 critical seconds. Cardiac output drops, cerebral blood flow decreases, and that is where dizziness lives and falls happen. Frank had all of these factors working against him, and he is not an outlier. Here is the exact morning protocol I gave Frank to fix this, and it centers entirely around how you drink water when you wake up. Step 1. The nightstand rule. There needs to be a glass of water on your nightstand every single night, without exception. You must drink a minimum of 8 ounces of water before your feet ever hit the floor. Drink it before you change positions, not after you get to the kitchen, and not with your morning medications. Do this while you are still lying flat. This directly addresses morning dehydration, increases your circulating blood volume, and gives your cardiovascular system exactly what it needs to maintain pressure during the position change. This single habit change has made the fastest measurable difference for my patients than almost anything else. Step 2. The ankle activation. Before the covers even come back, spend 20 to 30 seconds moving your feet and ankles while lying flat. Rotate your ankles in slow circles and flex your feet upward toward your shins. Your calf muscles act as a secondary circulatory pump for your lower body. Activating them before you stand directly reduces that dangerous gravitational blood shift. Step 3. The 60-second sit. Sit on the edge of the bed for a full 60 seconds before you stand. Not 5 seconds, not 20 seconds, a full 60 seconds. Sitting upright is an intermediate cardiovascular position. You are giving your autonomic nervous system the time it needs to prepare for being fully vertical instead of ambushing it. This is the single most evidence-supported behavioral intervention for orthostatic hypotension in geriatric cardiology. Once you are safely out of bed, there is one more critical water mistake millions of seniors make. For most people over 50, the first thing consumed in the kitchen every morning is coffee. Coffee is a vasoconstrictor. It causes your blood vessels to narrow temporarily, but measurably, within 30 minutes of that first sip. Narrow vessels mean higher resistance, which means your circulation has to work much harder to push that thick morning blood through your system. I am not telling you to stop drinking your coffee. What I am telling you is that you must drink one full glass of water before your first cup of coffee every single morning. Water first, then coffee. To summarize your new heart-safe hydration strategy, first, front-load your water intake so that you drink the majority of your daily water before 3 p.m. Second, have a small 4-ounce trickle of room temperature water an hour before bed to grease the pipes and keep your blood from turning into maple syrup. And third, keep that 8-ounce glass on your nightstand to drink before you sit up in the morning to protect your brain and your balance. The pharmaceutical companies and the mattress industry don't benefit from you learning this. You are not going to get this information in a rushed 15-minute appointment because there simply isn't time. But you have the information right now. You spent decades building the habits that brought you to where you are today, and you can build new ones. Not because it is easy, but because the alternative, spending another night straining your heart and feeding the conditions for a stroke or a fall, is no longer acceptable to you. You are not broken. Your body has not given up. It is working right now with everything it has to keep you here. It just needs the right conditions to work the way it was designed to. You are the CEO of your own health. If this information made sense to you today, and you feel like you learned something new about your own biology, please subscribe to the channel. I spend my time digging through the latest medical journals to bring you the truth about aging in a way that is easy to understand and actually useful. Hit that like button. It might seem like a small click to you, but it tells the algorithm that this message is life-saving, and it helps me reach other seniors across the country who are at risk tonight and have no idea why their heart is racing in the dark. Finally, I want you to leave a comment below. Just type, "I'm protecting my heart tonight." When you write those words, you aren't just commenting for the sake of the video. You are making a public commitment to yourself. You are deciding that your safety and your future are worth more than old, dangerous habits. And please share this video with one person in your life who needs to see it. Send it to the friend who mentions morning dizziness, or the family member who stops drinking water at 6 p.m. You might never know it, but you could be the reason someone you love wakes up to see the sun tomorrow morning. I am Dr. Daniel Harris. Thank you for your time, thank you for your trust, and thank you for taking your health seriously. Take care of your heart tonight. Sleep well.